What's up, guys? It's John with National Sports Entertainment, and I wanted to go into. Was going to cover this a few days ago, but the odds have stayed the same, which is nice. I figured they would, and I just feel like it's almost a foregone conclusion. I'm alluding to the women's U.S. Open finals. If you didn't see my other video, I covered the men's like a good week ago. Basically, going over why it's going to be Djokovic Alcaraz again. We did good in Wimbledon. It was Djokovic Alcaraz, which I predicted, and had Alcaraz winning that, I went into that. If you didn't see that video, you could watch it. But we've been doing pretty good with tennis. The reason I think Coco is going to win is pretty simple. Over the last couple of days, I'm seeing a lot of articles, and stuff on ESPN. So this here is actually about Sabalenka, but they're doing a lot of homage to Serena. I've heard them at least on 6 occasions now say this is the first time someone's done this since Serena, either alluding to an American, and in most cases to Coco Gauff. They say it's because she's American. I think it's because they want a face for the new Serena. And I guess for that, the person has to be black. That's just kind of how these entities seem to work. They do it with white guys in basketball all the time, and it seems like that's what they're doing with Coco. But she's going to be the American for the men and women's side, and I think they're just trying to, again, make people remember Serena Williams. Oh, here's the new Serena. Just like Alcaraz is the new Federer Nadal in one, is how they're trying to push him. And they're doing it with a lot of players. Isner was the next Roddick, and I'm sure Eubanks or somebody else will be the new Isner. But in this case, they are really behind Coco, and it's the U.S. Open. I think it makes absolutely no sense for Coco not to win this. Now, this is something I found interesting. This was posted, and ESPN put it out like right after they had put out the one of their Coco Gauff articles, and I found it interesting because it just, that is her, the Capri Bryant, his daughter, she did go by Coco, so I'm not saying it's crazy. It's just interesting. I think they put things like that in plain sight. And the same day, they put Jimmy Butler and Coco Gauff together. They had them in a picture. So they're doing a lot of talking about Coco Gauff and Serena. And actually, if you watch my Wimbledon video, I went into why I thought Alcaraz was winning no matter what, to be honest, because Djokovic had just won the prior one, and I think Djokovic is going to win this one because he was not allowed to participate last year, and a few other reasons, and I think it's going to go back and forth. But one of the reasons I had Alcaraz winning at Wimbledon was Jimmy Butler was there, and I noticed he had just lost to a Serbian, obviously, against the Nuggets, and he was there rooting on Alcaraz. And I thought it was interesting, obviously Djokovic is also Serbian, but Alcaraz won, and I had a feeling he was going to, just because of the reasons I went over earlier. And now Jimmy's saying he's Coco's number one fan. So I think this is all setting up for a Coco, they'll call it some kind of underdog story. She's not really much of an underdog, but there's players that have done more than her, and she's only 19, so it is still a pretty nice underdog story. So yeah, she's getting plus 270 about to win the whole thing. I already put a unit on her to win the whole thing because I just don't see anybody else winning it. I think it's going to be Coco on the women's side and Djokovic on the men's side. And like I said, a lot of times tennis people aren't that interested in, especially with football season coming up. But when it's, in my opinion, I could be wrong, but in my opinion, when it's this obvious, it just makes sense that, I wanted to get the video out there where you're almost getting 3-1 odds. So she plays today. I think she plays Madison Keys. It might be her. It might be someone else. But no. I think it's like a Russian person. Okay, she's not Russian. But Ostapenko, I've never heard of her. But yeah, I think Coco is definitely going to win the whole thing. So you could play her today as well. I'll play her today. I haven't looked at the odds. If it's like minus 200 or better, I'll play her. If it's like minus 400, I'm not sure if I'm gonna. Not that I know she's gonna win. It's just one of those deals where paying a ton to get juice. I think I'm better off putting it all in the futures, because as she advances, that plus 270 is going to move, obviously, closer to the 100s. So I like I'm almost 3-1 for her to win it all. At the very least, I think she'll make the finals and there'll be hedge opportunity. But I don't see a reason that she's not going to win this whole thing. So yeah, Coco Gauff is my prediction to win on the women's side. And my men's side is the exact same as it has been. It was, again, I think Djokovic will beat Alcaraz. I think that's been a foregone conclusion basically since the beginning. Nothing has made me think that these two guys aren't going to be in the finals of probably 3 of the 4 majors over the next couple years. Maybe by the end of next year, Sinner replaces Djokovic, but I think it's going to be for quite a bit. It's going to be these guys still. So I just wanted to go into Coco because, to me, again, I thought the articles were interesting. And now we have the Jimmy Butler connection, where obviously he was rooting on Alcaraz and now he's rooting on Coco. So that should be interesting. And yeah, I think it's good odds. So I just wanted to get that out there. I'll have my more football picks coming out later today, tomorrow, probably. There's still a couple more games to cover, and then obviously by Sunday I'm hoping to get most of them covered, and for college the same by Saturday. But I want to go into plus odds again on my channel. My number one thing is just beating Vegas. So I like 1 unit on Coco Gauff here to beat Ostapenko. I'm sorry, to win the whole thing. If she's getting good odds against Ostapenko, then I'm gonna play her to do that as well. I didn't look at the odds on this, but I'd imagine she's at least minus 300, probably even a bigger favorite. But yeah, so if you didn't see my Djokovic videos, like I said, they're not very long. I just went into why I think it makes sense that he's gonna win, and him and Alcaraz are gonna have a nice rivalry going forward. So yeah, as I always say, take care and happy earnings.